The siren wails, but it's already too late. The pressure drops so fast your ears pop, and the windows bow inward like breathing lungs before they explode. You flatten yourself in the bathtub, but the real killer isn't the wind. It's your own home turning into a horizontal hail of glass, ceramic, and steel. The wall of the tornado is a mile wide, but the shrapnel that kills you is sitting on your bookshelf right now. Most people cover their head with a mattress and wait. The survivor knows exactly which 5 objects in every room become fragmentation grenades, and they stripped those objects out of the safe zone before the sky turned green. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for number 5. The one hanging above your head right now that most people forget to check. And it rains glass the moment the roof peels off. Item 1. Glass framed photos and mirrors. The hallway wall of family photos. The ornate mirror above the mantel. The sliding closet doors in the bedroom. They're not decorations during a tornado. They are pre-hung guillotines. A 150-mile-per-hour gust doesn't just knock them off the wall. It turns them into a cloud of flying razor blades. The glass shatters on impact with the opposite wall, or with your skull, and the shards move horizontally at the speed of a major league fastball. The sharp edges don't discriminate between drywall and skin. If you are huddled in an interior hallway, lined with picture frames, you are lying in a trench lined with fragmentation mines. Most people never clear their safe room of glass. You will. You will take every frame, every mirror, every glass-covered print off the wall, and place them face down in a closed closet or a bathtub in a distant room. The empty wall cannot shatter. The hallway becomes a lung, not a blender. A single unfixed mirror is a flying scalpel. Remove it. Item 2. The kitchen pantry. Cans and jars. The tornado doesn't huff and puff your house down. It rips the roof off first. The sudden pressure drop inside the house pops cabinet doors open like a spring trap. Every can, every jar, every heavy bottle on those shelves becomes an airborne blunt force projectile. A 14-ounce can of beans at 120 miles per hour hits with the force of a brick. A glass jar of sauce explodes on impact with a wall and sprays shrapnel and sticky liquid across the entire room. This isn't food anymore, it's grape shot. Most people shelter in the pantry thinking the small space is safe. The walls buckle, the shelves collapse, and the contents fly off at ballistic speed. You will not shelter in a pantry full of cans. If the pantry is your only interior room, you will empty the bottom shelves completely and lie on the floor, pushing the cans to the far corners or into a sealed plastic bin. The safest shelter in a tornado has no loose, heavy objects above waist height. The can of soup that fills your stomach on a normal Tuesday becomes a skull fracture when the pressure drops and the walls flex. Item 3. Loose tools and hardware. The garage is the worst place to be during a tornado. Everyone knows that, but nobody thinks about the tool bench in the basement or the mudroom. A hammer hanging on a peg. A wrench lying on the workbench. A box of nails and screws. The tornado's pressure differential doesn't just move the air. It turns your entire house into a vacuum chamber, then a pressure vessel, then a vacuum again. Objects that are not tied down lift off and accelerate. A framing hammer headfirst through a wall has the energy of a bullet. A loose box of 3-inch deck screws becomes a cloud of tiny tetanus-coated needles, moving horizontally. Most people lock the garage door and forget it. You will walk your basement and your utility room before the storm. Every loose tool gets thrown into a closed toolbox. Every box of fasteners gets stuffed into a drawer. The goal is to clear the flight deck. If the wind enters, it should find nothing to pick up and weaponize. The wall itself might fail, but the shrapnel generation from inside is what you control. Item 4. Porcelain, ceramic, and glassware. The china cabinet, the coffee mugs hanging on hooks, the ceramic dog bowl on the kitchen floor. Porcelain is dense and brittle. When it shatters, it pops into sharp-edged, knife-like shards that are heavier than window glass and carry more momentum. A flying ceramic plate cuts through drywall. A coffee mug to the temple is a fatal blow. Most people think dishes are harmless because they're in cabinets. Cabinets open, doors rip off. The entire kitchen empties itself into the air column. You will not leave dishes on open shelves or on the counter. You will place them inside a lower cabinet, on the floor, behind a child-proof latch that holds against sudden pressure changes. If you have no time, you will push them off the counter into a sink or a deep drawer. The floor is the only safe altitude. The shrapnel zone starts at the countertop and goes up. Make sure nothing fragile lives there. Item 5. The overhead light fixture. Look up, the ceiling light in the hallway where you plan to shelter, the glass chandelier above the dining table, the flush mount dome light in the bedroom. When the roof lifts, the ceiling flexes. When the roof goes entirely, the ceiling panels crack and rain down. The first thing to come loose is the light fixture. A glass globe, or a heavy metal frame, dangles by the electrical wire, swinging like a medieval flail. Then it drops entirely. You are lying on the floor, eyes squeezed shut, hands over your head, and the light above you just became a falling guillotine. Most people never check above them. They crouch and look at the walls, the windows, the door. You will scan the ceiling. If the fixture is glass, you will unscrew it and place it on the floor in a closet. If it's heavy, you will avoid sheltering directly underneath it. A tornado shelter spot is not defined by the room. It's defined by the vertical space directly above your spine. A bathtub with a heavy glass shower door is a death trap when the ceiling comes down. You want a clear overhead, no glass, no heavy fixtures, no swinging electrical hazards. The light fixture is the last thing people think of because it's up, not down. Gravity reminds you otherwise. Here is the reality the sirens do not announce. The wind does not kill you. The house does. It hurls your own possessions at you at the speed of a freight train. Glass, cans, tools, ceramics, and the light fixture you never thought to take down. These 5 things are not dangerous in a calm room. They are lethal. The instant the pressure differential turns your home into an air cannon. Most people will crouch in a hallway, lined with framed photos, under a glass light, with a pantry full of cans to their left and a china cabinet to their right. You will clear that hallway. You will strip the walls and the ceiling and the low shelves. You will make the safe zone barren of projectiles. Survival does not reward the person who covers their head and prays. It rewards the person who looked at their home before the green sky and asked what in this room could fly. Now drop a comment and tell me this. Look up at the ceiling above your bed. What is the first thing that would fall on you if the roof sheared off tonight? A light, a fan, a smoke detector. Write it in the comments. Then go remove the glass fixture and replace it with something that won't become a blade. And in the next video, we are staying in the wind. The 3 places outside your home that are statistically safer than staying inside during a tornado when you have no basement and the walls are already breathing. I'll see you there.